Hello student, good evening. I am Oliver good and I am also fine. So today I will take one class from physics, that is from motion, that is class 9. Okay. So what is motion, sir? What is motion, sir? A body is said to be in motion if it is changes its position with respect to time. Okay. So a body or object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to time or surroundings. Okay. So when a body changes its position with respect to time or its surroundings, then we can say that the body is in motion. Or mathematically, we can say velocity that is v not equal to 0. Okay. When the velocity of an object or body does not 0, we can say the object is in motion. For example, a moving car, rotation of earth, is not it? Rotation of earth, a moving car are the examples of motions. Okay. So what is rest, sir? What will be rest? So it is just opposite to this, a body or object, said to be in rest if its position does not change with respect to time or its surroundings. Okay. So a body is said to be rest if it does not change its position with respect to time. For example, a table, a temple, or a building, or a school, etc. Look at the examples. If you look at the table, a table cannot change its position with respect to time or its surroundings. Okay, it does not have external force applied on it. Okay, a temple is fixed, does not change its position with respect to time, and a building, a school also does not change its position with respect to time. So in that case, sir, we can say the body or object will be in rest. So here velocity, that is v is equal to 0. If you want to say in mathematically, if the velocity of a body is 0, then we can say it is in rest. If the velocity of a body does not 0, then we can say it is in motion. Okay. Now, motion and rest are relatives. Rest and motion are relatives. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean? A body, the position of an object is relatives. Actually, there is no absolute rest or absolute motion in the universe. Okay. So let me explain with an example. Suppose, what we consider? We consider the temple or building or school is rest because they does not changes its position with respect to time or its surroundings. So according to the definition of the rest, they are in rest, state of rest. Okay. State means there are two states there. One is state of rest or state of motion. Okay. Now, motion when there changes its position continuously with surroundings or with respect to time, then we can say in that case the object or body will be in motion, right? Now, rest and motion are relative. How, sir? Because we consider temple, building, school are rest. But if you look at the earth from the space stations, international space station, or from the space, you think the earth is continuously rotating with this axis and surroundings in the orbital path around the sun. Okay, so that means since earth is rotating in its axis, so how can I say that, sir? Let me give you one example. Suppose you consider this paper is a earth, okay, is the earth. So it's rotating in this way, in its own axis, and also revolving around the sun in this way. Okay, so everything situated or stayed on the earth is also rotating, is not it? 24 hours is also rotating. So if you consider from the surface of the earth, there is this on the surface of the, if you look at the temple or building or school from surface, then it is most in rest. But if you look your school or your building or your house from the space station, then it is continuously motion. So rest and motion are in relative terms. Sometimes it may be motion or sometimes it may be rest. For example, if to suppose there is one bus, two bus. The two buses are moving in the same speed. Okay, the two buses are moving in the same speed. Suppose 40 km per hour. Okay, this are also 40 km per hour. Now, this passenger and this passenger, if they look at each other, they are in what? They are in rest. If they look at each other, they feel we are in rest. But according to, if there is one man is here, then according to this man and this man also moving, because according to him this bus is moving or it changes position with respect to him. Okay, that's why we can say rest and motion are relative terms, because it depends on the situation or reference frame. Okay, so understood my point of view, that is rest and motion are relative, because there is no such absolute rest or there is no such absolute motion. If for somebody they are in rest, for another body they are in motion. Okay, so let's move on the next topic. So now I will discuss about scalar quantity and vector quantity, vector physical quantity. Okay, scalar quantity and vector quantity. What is scalar quantity, sir? If a physical quantity have only magnitude means its value. Okay, have only magnitude but no direction, is called scalar quantity, right? For example, time, length, speed. Time have magnitude. How much time? There is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, but it has no direction. That's why time is a scalar quantity. Length you can measure 5 cm, 10 cm, 1 km, 1000 km, 2000 km, 1 lakh km, 10 lakh km, 1 crore km. But it does not have any particular direction. That's why length is also scalar quantity and speed is also scalar quantity. Speed have only magnitude but no direction. That's why speed is considered also scalar quantity. Okay, then vector quantity. vector physical quantity. So what is vector quantity? If a physical quantity have both magnitude and direction, okay, called vector quantity. Okay, example, velocity, force, etc. How? Velocity have magnitude and direction. How? Suppose one body is moving in this way with a speed velocity is 50 km per hour. If you consider the direction from west to east, then this velocity have, this one is the magnitude of the velocity, and from direction west to east is the direction of the velocity. So velocity has both magnitude and direction, but speed does not have. So what is the basic difference between speed and velocity? If you take only the magnitude from the velocity, it will become speed. Okay, got my point? If you just take only the magnitude of the velocity, then it becomes speed. Okay, now force have particular direction and apply. If you apply force here, this one is applied force. So applied force have some magnitude, suppose 10 Newton, and it is a direction towards the block. Okay, towards the block. So force is also a vector quantity. So what is vector quantity and scalar quantity understood? I hope all of you got my point. So what is the basic difference between scalar quantity and vector quantity? Scalar quantity have only magnitude or value, but vector quantity have both magnitude and direction. Okay, got my point? So move on the next topic. Now our next topic is, sir, distance. Okay, so what is distance? So distance, it is the total path traveled or covered by the body. Okay, it is the total path traveled or covered by the body. Suppose a body moves A to B, how much? 4 centimeter, and B to C, how much? 3 centimeter. Now in that case, the distance will be AB plus BC. So AB will be 4 centimeter plus 3 centimeter, that is 7 centimeter. Okay, so distance will be 7 centimeter. So now distance has only magnitude but no direction. That's why distance is also called a scalar quantity. Since distance has only magnitude but no direction, so distance is a scalar quantity. Okay, now displacement. Okay, so distance is nothing but, distance is the total path covered by the body or traveled by the body. Okay, it has only magnitude but no direction. That's why distance is also called as, considered as scalar quantity. Okay, got the point? Now displacement. So it is the, so displacement is the, it is the shortest path traveled by the body. Okay, by the body. It is the shortest path traveled by the body. For example, this one is, for example, if I take this example, a body moves A to B and B to C. Okay, this one is 4 centimeter and this one is 3 centimeter, and this is the shortest path. So this is the, its initial position, shortest path traveled by the body between, we can consider between its initial and final position. Okay, initial and final position. So a body starts from this point A and goes in the direction how much? B 4 centimeter, and from B to C 3 centimeter. Now the shortest distance between A and C, A is the initial position, okay, A is the initial position and C is the final position. Got my point? So the shortest distance between A and C is what? It will be root over of 4 square plus 3 square. You use the formula of Pythagoras. It will be root over of 25, that is 5 centimeter. So therefore SC, in vector we have to use this arrow sign. This arrow sign denote the direction, okay, from A to C. It will be 5 centimeter. So displacement has both magnitude and direction, so it is a vector quantity. Displacement have both magnitude and direction, so it is a vector quantity. Okay, got my point? So it's clear from that. So what is distance, sir? Distance is nothing but the total path traveled by the body. And what is displacement, sir? Displacement is the shortest path traveled by the body from its initial and final position. Okay, fine. So distance does not have any direction, that's why distance is considered as scalar quantity. But displacement have direction, that is its direction always from initial point to final position, from initial to final. That's why displacement is considered as the vector quantity. Got a point? Okay. Now you have to do at your home, you have to find out. This one is your homework, okay? Homework. What is your homework? From that you have to find out, distinguish between what? Scalar quantity versus vector quantity. And number 2 is important, most important, distance versus displacement. Okay, distinguish, you have to find, I have to write down at your home. How? You just write down in left side one distance and here is displacement. First, this is the technique. Write the in point 1. First one is definition. Here is definition, and here is example. Here is also example. And displacement, it is a scalar quantity. It's a vector quantity. Yes, 3 distinguish you can do easily. So how can you do? You don't need to study by heart the distinguish between two terms in physics or any terms. You just write down one in left side and another is right side in a column question. Okay, first write the definition here and corresponding definition here, and write the examples here and corresponding examples here. If you know another terms, then write in the third point. If you don't know, then leave it. Okay. So students, now we will do the next questions. Now we will study what is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Okay, uniform motion. What is uniform motion, sir? You already know this. Okay, when an object or body travels equal distances in equal interval of time, when an object or body travels equal distances in equal interval of time, then motion of the body will be in uniform motion or called uniform motion, or simply you can say uniform. I just write it called uniform motion. Then the motion is called then or called uniform motion. Let me give you one example to explain. So okay, so when an object or body travels equal distances in equal interval of time, that means they are in uniform motion. How? Suppose one object is here, he moving 10 meter, it's moving 10 meter in 5 seconds, and it moves A to B and B to C. Next 5 seconds is moving 20 meter, and C to D, that is next 5 seconds, it's moving 30 meter. You can say the equal time interval, equal interval of time, that is 5, and this one is 5, 10, and this is also 5. From A to B it takes time 5 seconds, from A to C it takes 10, that is 5 seconds. Interval is same, but the distance is equal. You see, this one is 5 seconds, it travels 10 meter, and 5 seconds, next time it also travels how much? 10 meter, and in the next 5 seconds it also travels in 10 meter. Okay, in this way so we can say the body is in uniform motion. Okay, now graphically we can represent. Graphically, suppose this one is distance and this one is time. I will explain this one graph in later class, in the another class. Okay, so for uniform motion, this will be straight line. This is straight line. Okay, it represents uniform motion. Now non-uniform motion is what, sir? If a body or object travels unequal distances in equal interval of time, called non-uniform motion. Okay, so if a body travels unequal distance in equal time, so what is uniform motion, sir? If a car traveling in its 5 hour journey, first hour 20 km, second hour 20 km, in third hour 20 km, in this way, then we can say the motion is uniform motion. And non-uniform motion, if a body or object travels unequal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say it is non-uniform motion. How? Suppose, let me explain. A to B, B to C, C to D. Okay, this one is 5 seconds it takes, and here 10 seconds it keeps here, and 15 seconds it keeps here. Okay, so it is 10 meter, it is 20 meter, and it is suppose 100 meter. So the time interval not equal, distance travel in time interval is not equal. Okay, so in that case we can say the motion of the body will be in non-uniform motion. Got my point? That means when a body travels equal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say the motion of the body is in uniform motion. And if the body does not travel or travels unequal distance in equal interval of time, then the motion of the body will be non-uniform motion. Okay, so how can we represent graphically? We can represent it graphically in this way. Okay, suppose this one is distance and it is represent time. So it will be something like that. Okay, non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion. Got my point? So what we learn, sir? We study what is uniform motion, how it is represented in graphically, and what is non-uniform motion, how it is represented in graphically. Okay. So now your homework is you have to do at home that distinguish between uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Okay, you have to do at your home this one homework at your home. Okay, so how can this take this uniform motion in this way and non-uniform motion in this way in column, mark one column here. So write in the left side definition, then example, and use this graph. Then 3 options will be given out here. Okay, so now I will discuss about speed is what. Okay, and different types of speed. So what is speed, sir? What is speed? Speed is defined as the distance per unit travel per minute time. Okay, so that is, it is defined as the distance traveled per unit time. Okay, what is that? Is mathematically we can write sir, speed is equal to distance upon time. Okay, so b equal to s by t. Here b is speed, s is distance, and t is time. This is the formula. Okay, now types of speed. How many types of speed are there? 4 types of speed are there. In class 11, if you go in the class 11, in after 2 years, then you will find 4 types. Now here 3 types are there. Okay, first one is constant or uniform speed. So what it is, sir? If a body or object travels equal distances in equal interval of time, called constant or uniform speed. This constant and uniform speed very similar to uniform motion. Okay, if a body travels equal distance in equal interval of time, it's called. Suppose this one, I take the example. Okay, A to B, B to C. This one is 10 meter, this one is 20 meter, and this one is 30 meter. Is not it? This one is 5 seconds, this one is 10 seconds, and travels in 15 seconds. So equal in equal time intervals, it travels equal distances. So this type of speed is known as constant or uniform speed, and graphically you can represent this in this way. Suppose this one is distance, sir, and this one is time. So the graph will be this one, and this graph will represent constant or uniform speed. Constant or uniform speed. Got my point? This graph will represent the constant or uniform speed. Okay. Next, number 2, non-uniform or variable speed. Okay, variable means it can vary with times. Okay, so it's just opposite to this one. If a body does not travels equal distances in equal interval of time, called what, sir? Variable speed or non-uniform speed. Okay, variable speed or non-uniform speed. So got my point? So what is it? If a body does not travel equal distance in equivalent table, okay, or if a body, you can say if a body travels unequal distances or in equivalent table of time. So we suppose in first cases every hour the bus is travel 100 km, but in the second cases in every hour the bus will not travel 100 km. It will be sometimes 150 km, or it may be sometimes 80 km, it will be 100 km. Okay, that is, it will be the speed, the distance will be very heavier. That's why they call it variable speed. So suppose in 1 hour it travels 100 km, and next interval 2 hours it travels 500 km, and next 3 hours it travels only 700 km. You see the time interval is same. There is 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. If you subtract this one, 500 minus 100, there is 400. So first 1 hour it travels 100 km. In the next 1 hour it travels 500 minus 100, there is 400 km. And in the next 1 hour it travels, there is 700 minus 500, there is 200 km. So in equal interval of time, the bus travels unequal distances. So in that case, we can say the speed of the bus or object will be in non-uniform, and the graph will be distance. Okay, graph will be same like non-uniform motion. It will be something like that. Okay, something like that. So this graph will represent variable or non-uniform motion. Okay, got my point? So another two types are there. One is average speed and another is instantaneous speed. So speed portion will be completed if I do this one. Okay, so move on the next topic. Now we will learn average speed. What is average speed? It is the total, it is the ratio between total distance traveled by total time taken. Total time taken. So mathematically we can say average speed is equal to total distance by total time. So what is my topic? What is the type of speed? Another third number type of speed is average speed. It is the ratio between total distance traveled to the total time taken. Okay, so average speed is equal to total distance by total time. Okay, suppose one body moves in this way, A to B. It takes t1 time to travel s1 distance, and it takes t2 time to travel s2 distance, and it takes t3 times to travel s3 distance. There is A to B, B to C, and C to D. So here average speed, so B average is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3. So it's so simple. Okay, this is the formula. Now what is instantaneous speed? Instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed is what? If you consider suddenly, okay, if you consider suddenly, so what is instantaneous speed? So let me write the definition of it. This is the out of syllabus. You will get it in class 11, okay, not in class 9. This is the out of syllabus, but I write it here because you will get it in the class 11. That's why. So what is the instantaneous speed? So it is the speed, the definition of it, the speed of an object at a particular instant of time. That is, at a particular instant of time, or and it is represented by b equal to dx by dt. That is, in a small interval of time, very small interval of time, a body may travels very small distance. Suppose dx, this one is dx is small distance and dt is del dt is small time. So instantaneous speed means at a particular instant, means in a very small time the distance traveled by the body divided by this time is called instantaneous time. Suppose a body is moving in this way, you are staying in a road, a bike or a car is moving in a very fast, okay, crossing you. So at that instant you look at the plane is moving in this way, you consider the velocity of the plane will be what. So in this way, what you consider at this moment, it is the speed with particular. That means, let me explain it. Suppose there is one bus, okay, there is one bus and it's moving in this way. There is one person staying on the roadside and the bus is moving very fast to cross him, okay. So he or she consider at a particular instant, that is in a del time, he consider what will be the velocity of the bus just cross me. So this speed is known as instantaneous speed. So instantaneous speed is represented by b equal to dx by dt or dx by dt. This speed is you will get in class 11, not in class 9. But there are 4 types of speed. That's why I am written this speed also here. Okay. So I hope this lecture will helpful for you. Okay. So this lecture is up to this much, the first lecture. Okay. This one is first part of motion, class 11. This one is part or lecture number 1. Okay. In the next class I will discuss about the velocity is what and different types of velocities is what, and acceleration, different types of acceleration, and negative acceleration, deceleration is what, sir. Okay. So after that we will do some numericals from the topic, and in the third lecture I will explain the 3 equation of motions, how to derive it, okay, both graphically and normal method. Okay. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care.